The incredible Julie Reisler had me on her show a few weeks ago. And towards the end, she asked me a question that honestly I struggled with more than just a little bit. Most of all, because we could have spent another hour longer, probably, just talking about magic. She asked me something like, what does magic mean to you? And frankly, I had so many different examples flow through my brain that it was probably magic that I didn't pass out right there. But it caused me to have such a glitch in my personal matrix that I've been writing notes and keeping ideas since. And I know she'd be glad to hear this too, because that's what an excellent, a really excellent spiritual life coach does. They offer up the opportunity to become better thinkers and better people for us. And she also gave me more than just food for thought, though. She reminded me how brave I am. And she said that I was courageous. And no one has ever said that to me, and not the way she laid it out. And, seeing myself through her lens really created a path of self-love that I haven't had before. Okay, so I've heard, oh, you're so strong, you're so passionate, in the ever well meaning, you're so resilient. Yeah, you know what comes before all that? Courage. And it's a different flavor than, well, moxie or chutzpah or being driven. I mean, I am courageous. I'm also not stupid. And I've had stupid moments. But overall, I've had faith in my ability to process and determine right action in significant moments and daily life too. So, what do faith and courage create when you put them together? Magic. And, faith is not belief, by the way. And courage isn't necessarily blindly pivoting when you're in danger either. Um, okay, so now we have some kind of recipe. We find faith, we find courage, and then we bring to life the necessary action to stir that cauldron or that pot or whatever metaphor fits for you. But my main reason for creating this really short video, and it should be short, is to remind you that the Lionsgate is this Friday. And I have received quite a few updates from various places online, and the best one is from the Fairy Congress. The Lionsgate refers to the alignment of our sun with the star Sirius and also with the stars that comprise Orion's belt. This is something that happens every year and has been happening for millennia or ever. Yet in recent years, it has received a lot of hype in the spiritual community. Sirius is a very important star in many indigenous traditions and is considered the source of very high vibration, expansive energies. The story is that its alignment with our sun creates an opening for these energies to stream into Earth. But what exactly does it mean for us, right? What opportunities might be available? What support might we receive? And for what areas of our lives? Okay. Now, for longer than I care to admit, I wanted a magic remedy for all of my problems. I wanted someone to give me a step by step how to unfuck yourself. That was the support I thought I needed. And I loved organized religion for a while. Okay. It gave me all the rules for being perfect. And it even erased my imperfections each week with bread and water or wine during a ritual of forgiveness. And that was kind of cool. But imagine my surprise when my first real teacher, Kathy Lynn Douglas, and Kathy, I have all of our letters before the age of email. Still, someday I might publish them. But anyway, she shook me by my shoulders and she said, at some point in our adult lives, Sarah, we have to stop blaming our parents for our problems. Because I always had my mommy issues. Mommy. So why don't we stop blaming God too? It's like sitting around saying, why does God let these things happen? Well, what if we just stopped blaming? And what if we started fixing ourselves as best as we could with whatever feels right? And that's what the Lionsgate is about. You get to mix it all up, candles and spells and prayers and chanting and touching grass and playing a drum and jumping and Reiki and spaceships and Yeshua and Buddha and Baba Yaga. I mean, do it. Create your own religion. The biggest, the biggest magic is synchronicity, okay? And I probably should have said that when Julie asked, but I stumbled on finding the right story. My entire life is magic, and so is yours. Find the magic. And when you do, spend a moment being grateful. And there is magic in gratitude too. And I'll tell you, something that I've noticed in the last few years since the Rona and the Demic situation caused the world to push the pause button. The new normal seems to be about disruption, and very little seems to actually go as planned these days. And I'll tell you, one of my superpowers has always been fixing the emergencies caused by the poor planning of others. And I have been hyper vigilant long enough, I think. How about you? Are you feeling that too? When I have sessions with my amazing clients, most of all, they just want to know if they're going to be okay and if they're going to find the answers they need and if they're going to get closure. And the last several months, I've been seeing something happen in the month of August for the vast majority of the people that I've been doing readings for. And that tells me it's not personal, okay? This situation is global. And that's the Lion's Gate. And you don't have to believe in it or the other gateways, but the science is clear enough to shore up my faith that the world is changing. And I think the magic happens when each of us remembers that it's not that hard to be kinder and gentler and yet not tolerant of people who are duplicitous. That means two-faced and manipulative. And you know who these people are. And so that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, I had a few other things to say about not following the four disagreements, and but mostly I just wanted to let you know that you are the magic, and that magic is everywhere, and you are standing in the middle of enormous love, and that's what the darkness doesn't want you to know. That's what it doesn't want you to see. It's going to give you all kinds of fear porn about fucking AI and so much more. So much more. And yeah, there is a nefarious plan out there. There always is. Look for the good guys. Okay? You're one of them. Enjoy your Lionsgate. TGIF all the way.